How is everybody? Into the world of electric. By the movement of an object, collide, with another object. When the stone rub. Now, what are the stones? Are they made of the same elements? When they rub and there's a spark and we have a little hay or grass or hemp, EMP, right? Does hemp move? Which one of these, what of our objects of plants can move electric? Electric is number 75. Moon is number 57. When creation came to be, through my short little time I've been on this planet, for the even smaller window that I've had in the 18 years to study dots and dashes and games, including roulette, and roulette has a name. Blackjack has a name. Most of these games, or some of these games, or all of these games, are played in something called the casino. Casino. Unisek. Unisek. Backwards. Ani. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to me? And for what reason does it have a meaning to me? Or why did I give it this meaning? Over time, over 18 years of putting the dots and dashes together, I have come up that the formula I use has showed me to call certain things what they are. Now, I could be the complete opposite. I can say Mars is 7 and Earth is 6, or Earth is 6 and Mars is 7. I'm just going to go one side or the other. But I call Mars 6, and I call Earth 7. But to do this, I'm going to create a larger line here and a shorter line here. And the reason for that is, where am I to put the dots of Earth? Can I put the dots of Earth here? But then I would have a third one in between. I would have to say Mars. So Earth and Mars coming together. Or would I just create a short line and just do that over here? Where I got this from is, this is 6 and this is 7. This is the way the Mayan count. And they count in that 13 and 7 grid cycle. Something to do with 20 parts and 18 parts. I'm not sure if it's 20 days and 18 months, or if it's 18 months and 20 days, because the sun, right, which is 18 times 3, 27 times 2, 9 times 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 27, 3, and 6 all equals to what is 54. Are there any other ways to make it? Just to note, 150, 162, or 216, 76 times 76, or 2160, which is the miles, in the diameter in what is the moon. The word Mars equals to, that's an error, equals to 51. The word Earth equals to word 52. So in Roman numerals, I'm going to go V16 and V117. Where am I obligated? You see, in this design, if I was to do things separately, I would have to create it this way. In this design, I would create it that way. So creating it that way, I can actually do that. When I create it that way, I can actually do that. So if I put that over that, I end up with that. And the letters are actually DC. 4, and 3. And it just so happens that only D and C are 180 degrees or complete mirrors of each other on this cube. Okay, so this is where Earth and Mars comes in. And you also note that in the letter H, or in the letter, or in the letter I, okay, and I can't create an I this way, but I can create an I through two areas, which automatically shows me the window, and the H will show me this, and the I will show me this. I can't make any other lines. I'm not going to do the diagonals, but boom, now I have a window in what is I9, and in H I have a rectangular 8. If I create the same thing, I'll have two rectangular 8s, 88 that comes out of this, or just 888. 8 times 8, 64, 8 plus 8, 16, plus 64 equals to 80, which equals to 8. 6 and 1, 7, 6 and 4, 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. It will create what? 88. It is Q. It is the I. Can we look at it this way? Like that, if you want to look at it that way. Can we look at it as the letter C, or the on-off, the OI, or the CI? C is only, it takes 5 parts in order to create, and shows you in the 5 cube is where 1 controls 4. 1 controls 4. 1 is the center, or equal to all. So what is 1? Now if I create overlapping cubes, right? Imagine I created overlapping cubes, and each one, right, this area over here, in this one over here, which was once this area of 4, now becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, all connected. If it was created like this and we took off the corner, now we can take off the corner in 4, or let me see how it's done, or we can take off the corner in 9. So I'm not sure which one should be done, or should we only count this one as 9 and every other corner as 4, equaling to what is 16 and 9, or pi. But when we do this, let me do it properly. There's just so many things going on, and I tend to go really, really fast. I don't want to miss anything. And as I'm explaining it, I'm also, how can I explain it? As I explain it, it also adds on. So what we have is we have 4 by 4 equals to 16. Now we lose 1 to the center, so it becomes 4 by 3 equaling to 12, and the 12 and the 8 ball in pool are purple. So now what we have is, what we had is 1 area. We had 9 times 1 area equals to 9, but now the 9 area is now a 5 area times 1 equaling to 5. You know the EIEIO, right? And now we have this area over here is we have 3 and 1 equals to 4 by 3. Well, it's going to be 9 areas. Sorry, by 4. It's going to be, it's a little confusing, right? It's going to be 3 and 1, 3 and 1, 3 and 1, 3 and 1. And then in between over here, it's going to be an area of 5. So we have 5, 4, 8. So we have 16 and 5 equaling to blackjack 21. This is where the moon comes in. 6 and 5 and 7 and 5. This will become 45. This will become 35. Why? When I have to bring my numbers down to a perfect 10 to make them whole. 6 and 4, 10, 5 and 5, 10, creating 1 and 1, 11. They all fit into each other. 3 and 7. Where did I get this? 1 plus 6, 7. 1 times 6, 6. Now when you total it, it'll be 13 and 5. It says ace. It is the orange ball in pool. It equals to 18, which is the letter R, REICHE. You have to have 3 of them in order to equal to 54, and now we fit inside the sun. And the formation is always 18 numbers, 18 numbers, 18 numbers, according to the game of roulette, where there's 36 numbers, but formation is in the center. But that's a part formation, because if you look at the design is not equal, right? See the way it starts with an X, finishes with a Y? Well, when you start again, will it start with an X or will it start with a Y? So we have to understand that. If we flip it over, it starts with another Y. If we continue it 3 times, it goes X, X, and we flip it over on the third. Which way do we flip it over? Do we flip it over going this way? 3 numbers, 3 numbers, 3 numbers, 3 numbers, paddywhack, or 36 numbers without moving it before we flip it this way. One of the reasons is if you look at this, I cut them out. Now I want to match. You see the triangles are the same? I want to match them. But see the way the foot goes up here and the foot goes up there, right? Will these match here, or do they have to match this way? And number 1, 1, 10, 19, 28, 37, 46, 55, 64. But 55 divides everything. We have to understand where numbers divide. We divide at 21:12. We divide at 31:13. We divide at 41:14, 51:15, 61:16, 71:17, 81:18, 91, and 19. We cannot divide at 22. 22 is a complete division because they're equal to each other, as so 44, 33, etc. Now we can also return at 27, 72. So all the numbers, when you start doing the number grid, you're going to see where the numbers flip over and we're into a new section. Never the same. Just give me a minute. So now when we come down to this, we have a total of 4, 8, 12, 16, 21 areas, and we have the 4 voids, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the 4 voids on the outside of the area. I'm just trying to see that when we create this here, the minimum size for a triangle, is it this here? No. A triangle can be created with inside its own box. So when you have a right-handed or left-handed triangle, you know it was created in one cell. When you have a perfect triangle, you know you needed 2 cells rectangularly to create this image. So now what we're going to do is when I create its first formation this way, okay, I want to connect both sides through the center, through the heart. So I'm going to do this over here, and I'm going to connect outside like that. Or I could have just went over it and did it like that. And when you do it like that, it's XOX, 24, 15, 24. 24 and 15 with the heart, 39. But 24 and 24 is 48, plus 15 is 63. Where do I get all this? Well, it's pretty simple. The X is the 24th letter in the alphabet. There are 2 creating O in the center. If we go reverse, it becomes C, L, C, 3, 3, 3, just as this is 6, 6, 6. 24th letter, 2 and 4, 6. 15th letter, 1 and 5, 6, 6. The opposite is this, and this becomes the 12th letter. 1 and 2 is 3, 3, 3, 3. So the cycle that we run, 1, 4, and 7, divided by 3, will equal to 0.333, 0.333, 1.333, or 2.333. And if we add them all together, they're running at 3.333. And that's your actual reality of pi, except it's been tweaked by a percentage. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that revelation. So we did the skull, we did the bones, objects moving, we did the moon, the 75,075 moons. If you divide that by the 13 moons a year, it equals to 5775. If you multiply 77 times 75, you equal to 5775. Now the number in between is 76. 76 by 76 equals 5776, which is 288. And that's your 4 by 72, and that's your perfect I think it's a perfect planet pitch. There should be only 288 days, perhaps in the year if I get this right. Maybe even less because everything was divided. 260 like the alphabet plus 28 cycle of the moon for 288, which leaves us 130 and 14. And that 130 and 14 shows us half an alphabet, shows us half the moon cycle, which shows us the ring 3 and 5 and 2 and 4. 6, 9, 14. And this also is M and N is the split of the alphabet. The 13th and the 14th letter, we go to A, we go to Z and to A between these. There's the M and N division. That's a two-part division. And the two-part division also goes with M, G, and N and T. Because the center of here is T720. The center of here is G7. And then it's 1 all the way to 6. And then it's 8 all the way to 13. And there's 6 numbers and 6 numbers. And then here it's 14 over to S19. And then it's U21 over to Z26. So this is M and H and A and F. F-mash. I'm hoping you understood this. This becomes 4 and 5, and that represents love, sun, breath, birth, DNA. I'm just trying to think what else. Anyways, for now, there's still some more of these triangles to design, to better understand. And then I'm going to be putting these together. See these over here? What I did is the circuitry matches perfectly with 3. Although there's 4 sides, if this was a 3D or 5D or whatever you want to call it, there's always 4 sides. Always 4 sides to a triangle. Therefore, if there are 4 sides to a triangle, and the reason for that is when I show you these 3 sides, right? If I slice this in half, there's going to be a base, right? When I slide this in half, you're going to have here, here, and then this part over here is 3, right? But you also have the base side. And the base side, the base covers 3 sides. So you have 3 sides and 1 base. And we have the 3 years and the 1 year of our rotation. Maybe we change the base. So how many times would you have to change the base? 3 and 1. So then there would be another cycle multiplied by 3 and 1. And when you take the dice cube, right, there are 21. 21 times 3 equals to 63. And 1 times 21 equals to 21. The total is 84. Divided by 28 equals to 3. And the moon cycle is 28. And it takes 4 cubes. When we do that, we end up with 99 and 33, 132. Where does this come from? There are 33 voided spaces. If I add up all of these and all of these, on here I have 54, on here I have 21. There are 33 empty spaces. They never use more than 6 per side. 6 per side times, okay, 6 times 6 times 7 equals to 42. They will never use more than 42. There are 12 empty, except, understand this, this in reality is the only one that will use 7. So there are 2 times 7 equals to 14. Every other one, if you drill it, there will really in reality will only be 5. There are 4 sides times 5 equals to 20. You're only working with 34 and 20 on a cube, because the other dots are empty should I drill a hole in this cube. Now I know I went over a lot of stuff, and I know I went over the triangle. I know there are 4 sides. Every side is cut into 4, so that would be 16. Now, although there's 3 sides, all the bottoms come together. So if all the bottoms come together, okay, if all the bottoms, if you take this triangle and this triangle, 4 triangles, 4 times 1.5 equals to what is 6? We end up with this square. And then in the center of this square, okay, is a spindle that controls all the center arms. Now, if I did this wrong, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it a little bit slower. There, although you see 3, if this was 3D, there would be a bottom. Every single side splits up into 4 triangles. If there are 3 of these, right, if there are 3 of these, times 4 equals to 12. 3 of these times 4. But there is a bottom to this. So there's 4 areas times 4 equaling to 16. The 12 ball in pull is purple. Mixing red, hot and cold together creates purple, as hot is represented by red and cold is represented by blue. Until I have the image to put it in front of me, I'm going to have to come back and explain this again, because it didn't come by like I was a teacher. It came by more like I was explaining it to the teacher. Thank you for watching this video.